are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the College League Podcast. I'm Dylan Ableting on Twitter. Dylan Larck, whose voice has got a big old frog in it. So, here we are. The Final Four was yesterday, and Auburn took the L to the Florida Gators for the second time this season, 79-73, in a game where Auburn had the lead going into halftime. They were up 46-38. And what happened after that? Well, Florida had the best opening to a half that I've seen against Auburn in quite some time, going on, I believe, a 9-0 run and tying up the game or getting the lead, really. And then it was just a back-and-forth game. And then, sometime later, it was back and forth for a little bit. And then out of nowhere, Florida just took off. And Auburn did nothing about it. Auburn got outscored 41-27 in that second half. And there's not a lot you can do whenever Walter Clayton has one of his best nights of his career. And that's saying something. 34 points from Walter Clayton, 2 assists, 4 rebounds, shot 7 of 7 on the free throw line, 5 for 8 from the 3-point line, 11 of 18 from the field. Auburn just did not have an answer for Walter Clayton. On the Auburn side, you had some decent games across the board. Janai Broome, 15 points, 7 rebounds, had a couple assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. A good ending to his career game-wise. Dylan Cardwell had himself a phenomenal game, almost having a double-double, 9 points, 8 rebounds, also got himself a steal. Chad Baker-Mazara, 18 points for Chad, 2 assists, 4 steals, a block, and a rebound. Denver Jones had 10 points, 1 of 5 from the 3-point line, though, is a big stat there for him. Miles Kelly, good day defensively. I think he did a better job of trying to lock down Walter Clayton than Denver did. But 8 points, 4 rebounds, and a steal for Miles. 2 of 7 from the 3-point line for Miles Kelly. Off the bench, Auburn did not sub that much. Only 3 guys came in. Chaney Johnson got 22 minutes, got 6 points, 4 fouls, which, yeah, Chaney, very, very aggressive defender. And so got every single one of those. An assist, 5 rebounds for Chaney. Simo got himself 3 minutes, but did not register any stats on the board. But Tahad Pettiford, in a game that, Tahad's been great all tournament long. Has been one of Auburn's most important players, been one of the more vital players, and definitely needed him on his A game. And, early on in the game, Tahad just got frustrated. And 7 points for Hod, had 3 turnovers. Dude just could not keep a hold of the ball whenever he got it. 1 steal, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, 0 for 4 from the 3-point line. Auburn's not 7 of 25, but in that regard, Florida only made 1 more 3-pointer than Auburn did. And in every sense of the word, the way you look at it here is Auburn just got outplayed and outcoached. Like this time around, we don't have a double dribble call to look back on. That this was not lost because of one play or one bad call. And I can't even say that it was a bad ref game. I think it was pretty even on both sides. You get what you get with NCAA officials. They're all bad, but it was bad on both sides. Auburn flat out lost this game. Flat out lost it because they came out in the second half absolutely out of it. No energy was had at the start of that second half. And by the time you're trying to fight back into it, it's already too late. I'm man enough to say that this game made me cry. I get big into Auburn games. I've been an Auburn fan pretty much my entire life. And watching Auburn, the best Auburn team ever, might I add, the best Auburn team ever, go out on the court and just lay the biggest goose egg you'll ever see. That they just played horrifically. This is not the Auburn team we've been watching all season long. This is not the team that we expected to see go on the court versus the Final Four. I think a lot of people probably were picking Florida in this game. I picked Auburn because I've seen Auburn take these moments and run with it and win. So I was confident in my Tigers, but after the first half, I wasn't worried at the half. I thought Auburn had it. It's all about you've gotten Cundon out of the game. Cundon only had 1 point in this game after putting up 20 against Auburn in February. You made him, he shot 0-5 from the field, 0-1 from the 3-point line. He only made one of his shots, which was a free throw. But other guys found ways to make things happen for Florida. Haug had 12 points. Elijah Martin had 17. Will Richard had himself a pretty decent game. Ruben Chignello was, it made things happen for Florida that Auburn didn't have an answer for. That second half, again, was the worst half of basketball Auburn has played all season long. And, it's something to be said about how good the Final Four is this year. I mean, every team is ranked in the Ken Palm top 10 all time. But to see Auburn go out in the court and play like they did, it hurt. It hurt because, you don't have things to look at to blame except for Auburn just played bad. Auburn just played bad. But you can't. You can hold your head low about this game, but on the season, I mean, this was again the greatest season in Auburn basketball history. Bruce Pearl cemented himself as probably one of the best coaches in Auburn athletics history. Janai Broome, argument to be made that he's the best Auburn player in the history of the program. I probably would put him right there, either right above Chuck or right below Chuck. He's right there. It's 1A and 1B, if anything. Dylan Cardwell goes out on a high note. He had beat his season averages in almost every category, with 9 points and 8 rebounds. This team is going to be a team Auburn fans will look at very fondly. And in the long run, I mean, the Final Four loss, I mean, it sucks. But, I mean, you made it. Auburn's now gone to their second Final Four ever. Their second one under head coach Bruce Pearl. They have more Final Four appearances than Alabama does. So that's something to hang your hat on. But it does not. 24 hours after the fact, it still hurts. It took a while for me to get over this, and I can't say that I've gotten over it. Whenever you sit there and you watch a team that you have, I mean, in my case, covered or, just been a fan of in general for the entire off season leading up, seeing this team be built, see what happened last year get turned around into what happened this year, the toughest non-conference schedule in basketball history, just about. No one has ever played more quad one teams than Auburn has. And I mean, has beaten as many quad one teams as Auburn has in that regard as well. Truly was a season to remember. This was the greatest basketball team Auburn has ever assembled. And frankly, I hate that this is such a somber tone because it is such a great team, but just to come out flat in that second half just puts a sour taste in my mouth about how the season came to an end. I mean, the last 4 games of the regular season, you lost 3 out of the 4 of those. How you played versus Tennessee in the SEC tournament. I mean, this team had some duds. They had some games that were duds. But I keep one to the bright side, but the fan in me doesn't want to. But yeah, it's hard to talk about what exactly went wrong. I don't have the plus minus stats in front of me, but I would imagine Tahad Pettiford and Denver Jones probably don't have the highest plus minus from this game. The Walter Clayton pretty much had his way with whatever he wanted to do. Because at some point, Chad had to get on him. Even Chad was struggling versus Clayton. I think I do want to say Miles did do the best at trying to get into his head early. But once Walter once he got started, once he got hot, there was just no way to stop him. Because I mean, if you look at the shot percentages, Auburn shot 43% from the field, and Florida shot 47%. Which, I mean, that's a discrepancy right there. No discrepancy right there in terms of shots made. Both made 25 shots. 3-pointers, I already mentioned it. Florida made 1 more 3-pointer than Auburn did. And then free throw wise, I mean, Auburn shot 16 of 23, and Florida shot 21 of 30. So both teams shot pretty bad. 70% for Florida, 69.6% for Auburn. Which, I mean, at some point you're just throwing up shots, which is what Auburn did latter parts of the game. The commentators mentioned this. Auburn found ways to not attack the paint, which is what the strength of this team really is with Janai Broome. at some point, Janai probably should have scored around 30 points in this game because the guys in the middle, Haug, I think that's how you say it, or Cundon, they didn't really have an answer for Janai, and Auburn decided to start going to the perimeter for a lot of those shots. I mean, I mentioned all the shot percentages. I mean, you look at it, Miles Kelly, 2 of 7, which 2 of 6. He shot one at the end of the game trying to get Auburn back into it, and he shot it from behind the hoop. I'll give him 2 for 6, but still 2 for 7 from Miles. He had 1 of 5 from Denver Jones, 0 of 4 from Tahad Pettiford, 0 of 2 from Janai Broome. Really, the only people making threes consistently was Chad with 4 of 7, and a lot of his were heat checks trying to get Auburn to light a fire back in them. Which shout out to Chad. I do think Chad will be returning back to back on the roster in 2025. But yeah, it truly does suck to have to sit here. I was fully confident in the fact that I'd be talking to everybody on Sunday about an Auburn basketball win. Auburn's going to national championship, take on Duke or Houston, which in this case is Florida versus Houston. Yeah, I'm not. Truly does suck. Auburn got out rebounded in this game. They forced a fair share of turnovers, but Florida did at the end too, 16-14 in Auburn's favor. Personal fouls, Auburn committed 22, but I mean, at that point, you're fouling at the end of the game. Blocks wise, both teams got 3 steals. Auburn forced 11 steals. Florida only got 7 assists. Auburn had 11 to Florida 7. But at some point, I mean, it's just, you just let Walter Clayton run the floor. And that's what he did. Walter Clayton more than likely going to be the overall tournament MVP. I have a lot of old head Auburn fans hate Florida. I don't really hate Florida. I said yesterday that I wouldn't be rooting for Florida, but I might just because I like Todd Golden. I think he's a great coach. Bruce Pearl, under the Bruce Pearl coaching tree, it would be great for him to get his first championship. But dang, man, this loss does in fact suck. But it's in the past. And now going to the future of Auburn basketball. We'll talk about that in a little after this break, but we'll be talking about who can return for Auburn and who can't, and what Auburn probably needs going into the portal, because the portal has begun. Auburn's already got 1 commit. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Are you tired of having to rummage through just clothes after clothes after clothes looking for something to wear? Are you tired of your friends making fun of you for your terrible fashion sense? Well, do we have the shirt for you? Go to thewarreport.com, get your laptop out and do it right now. Go to the shop and get your very own Feelin' Loopy t-shirt as well as your college loop hat, and you can get both of them for only $25 each. Plus shipping and handling, of course. But with that, now back to your regular scheduled program.
And of course, available on thewarreport.com. Go to the shop. On the second page, you'll find the College Loop t-shirt, the Feelin' Loopy shirt, and of course, College Loop hat. Find those $25 each. I'm going to wear it in your entire life. Of course, only one way to support the channel. The best way to support the channel is, of course, by liking, by commenting, and by subscribing. What are your thoughts on Auburn's loss to Florida in the Final Four? But don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. So, 2025-2026 season. I mean, when the season ends, off season begins, and it's time to start talking about the future of Auburn basketball. So, who are you losing this offseason? You're losing Janai Broome. You're losing Dylan Cardwell, Chris Moore, JP Pegues, which I like JP. I thought he was a great pickup from the transfer portal. It just never really meshed with them in the scheme and in the schedule. I wish him the best of luck. I'm not gonna. A lot of Auburn fans kind of hate on him. I don't understand why. The most annoying part Auburn fans have done is put him next to Peyton Thorne, which is stupid because JP, I don't want to say it was bad, but he didn't play in the season, so I don't know why you compare him to Peyton Thorne, who played and cost some games. Miles Kelly cannot return, and Jaheim Hudson cannot return either, which, I mean, Jaheim Hudson did not play in the Final Four game yesterday. And you look at that guys who maybe have a chance to. You got Chad Baker-Mazara, who I do believe is going to be back for his 6th year. Denver Jones and Chaney Johnson, not too sure about them yet. I do know they have waivers out to try to see if they have another year of eligibility left. I don't know if it's in the cards for Chaney because he did not play at the JUCO level. He went D2. So a little bit different for him. They had to make another rule for that. But Denver could maybe, but I'm not too sure how his waiver is looking as well. And of course, you got the freshman and Tahad Pettiford and Ja'Kai Howard. Tahad has said that he hopes he can return, or I forgot how exactly he worded it, but the key word in that sentence was hope. I do think Tahad Pettiford has gotten some buzz in the draft as of late. He had phenomenal performances across the entire tournament. That's the national stage where you saw Tahad Pettiford putting up 20 points on Michigan. But Tahad might check his name on the box for the NBA draft, but if he's going too low, I could see him coming back to Auburn. Ja'Kai Howard, I'm not sure yet. I would hope he returns. I would love to see him develop and mature and get his own spot on the roster next year. So yeah, really, you're looking at three guys with Tahad, Ja'Kai, and Chad that you're leaning more towards the yes side of things. Auburn, of course, is bringing in some star-studded recruits in Sebastian Williams-Adams, a 4-star, Cade Magwood, another 4-star, both guards. Sebastian Williams-Adams is, of course, a forward, 6'8", 230. Cade Magwood is a guard, 6'1", 170. Simon Walker, another guard, coming in at a 4-star. And, of course, you have the number 3 JUCO player in the country, and Abdul Bashir, who is going to probably be playing in the 2 or the 3 role, being a 6'7" shooter. What you're looking at here is Auburn's already picked up their another big scoring option in Keyshawn Hall, the number 1 transfer, small forward out of UCF. Led the Big 12 in scoring, had a phenomenal year last year, going to go with his last year of eligibility. Auburn's going to be in desperate need for not I won't say not a complete overall. That's almost what I said, but what's the terminology I want to say here? Auburn's going to be in need for some players because if you look at it, Jani Broome is going to the NBA draft. Dylan Cardwell is going. I don't know if Dylan Cardwell's going to test his name out there. But you're going to be out some bigs. You're not going to have very many bigs. So you're going to have to get some of those guys. Because I think the majority of the guys who are like 6'8" and above that Auburn's gotten so far are more on the offensive side of things. Auburn's going to need some defensive guys. Most definitely. Flory Badunga would be a great pickup if Auburn could swing it. I mean, we're looking at a guy who, underutilized at Kansas. Auburn was heavily involved in his recruitment, so much so that Harrison Tarr said that he had it's like his prediction that Flory was going to be an Auburn Tiger, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, if that were to happen, it'd be great for the Tigers to get a guy who could, help protect the rim. I'm not too sure of any other guys. I mean, of course, the portal is now open for Auburn. I don't know if Ja'Kai Howard probably be the most likely to, but I'm not too sure about that yet. I'm not in the locker room. But overall, Auburn is going to need to fill a lot of holes because you're going to have some new bodies starting next year. And I mean, if you got Hod, that's your one I'm pretty sure you start to Hod at the 1. I would probably see either Bashir or Magwood probably get in that 2 spot. Probably Bashir would be my pick, and then of course you'd have Chad Baker-Mazara, and then you'd have more than likely Sebastian Williams-Adams out there at the 4, and then now you're just looking for probably Flory Badunga at the 5. But Auburn does need to find another unit that can bring them back to where they are because. I mean, dude, that roster last year, I can't speak enough about that roster. I've always said that Jani Broome this season it has like earned that statue. I think you give this entire team a statue. That's just how good this team was all season long. SEC regular season title, number 1 overall seed, Final 4 appearance. Give the whole team a statue. But yeah, Auburn gonna need to fix them. He's gonna need some dogs out of the portal, and I expect Bruce Pearl to be heavily involved in the transfer portal as he was last year and the year prior. He's been very adamant on he's going to recruit high schoolers and he's going to recruit a lot from the portal. So expect us to talk more about that as the offseason continues. Of course, this week is A-Day, or A-Day. I'm putting air quotes around that. as Auburn will have their host their annual spring practice game. Probably more than likely to be a practice. Of course, Auburn, the third year of the Hugh Freeze era. New era going on no matter what, because a new team, a new quarterback for the 2025-2026 season. Of course, a lot of eyes are on this year's team because everyone believes this is a success or bust kind of year for Hugh Freeze. If he doesn't win 8 games, do you can him? Or if he wins less than 7, do you can him? That's a better answer. But talk more about that throughout the week. Of course, that'll be all we're talking about for this week, getting ready for A-Day, talking about quarterback battles, talking about wide receivers, who to watch out for, so on, so forth. More to talk about this week. And, of course, shout out Auburn Gymnastics going to regionals. I don't want to say not regionals, the Sweet 16. I'm not sure if it's regionals or not. What they'll be taking on. I believe it's Missouri, Oklahoma, and I can't remember. I think it's Arizona, maybe the last one. Not mistaken. Also, shout out to Auburn baseball taking down Alabama. Shouting out everybody around beautiful Auburn, Alabama, because got to find some high points to talk about. Let's see, meet day. Oh, they're taking on Auburn Gymnastics, taking on Oklahoma, Missouri, and Arizona tonight at 7. So in just about 30 minutes, it'll be streamed on ESPN Plus. So hopefully getting a chance to move on to the next round for that. But shout out Auburn softball getting the dub over Kentucky, and so on, so forth. Trying to find some high points to finish out the show, talking about Auburn athletics, because man, that game hurt more than most games do. If I had to rank where that game ranked pain wise for me, man, I'm gonna say, I mean, one for me is definitely watching Kelvin Benjamin, Moss, Chris Davis in the national championship between 13. 2 probably is going to be that double dribble call. And man, this might be 3. This might be 3. And I mean, you can even argue, it could jump the final, it could jump the previous Final Four. I mean, that sucked. That flat out sucked. And I'm sure there's probably some other ones around around that I probably could add to a top 10 list, because you suffer sometimes as an Auburn fan, but you enjoy it. Who cares? Auburn fans probably the lowest life expectancy out of any collegiate fan base because of the pain their team puts them through. But yeah, that's going to do it for some of the College Loop podcast. I'm Dylan Eiboting on Twitter. Check me out on Instagram as well at Dylan Larck, DYLENLRCK. Check the College Loop out right here on YouTube, where you should comment and like. And of course, also subscribe to the channel. Getting so close to 1,000 subscribers, be a super cool milestone to hit. And of course, check us out social media wise: Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, the works, all of the College Loop. And don't forget to check us out on all the versions of the show on Spotify Podcast, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music. Now, that being said, thanks for watching the College Loop podcast yet again. And as always, War Eagle.